Well, you think
bits
so?
of it, bits of it.
Well, you can't
Yes.
you can't live in the style of then, because the style of then was that the basement was used by the servants in the kitchens.
You mean you've
And
no
I don't have any
You
servants.
don't have any
And
servants?
nobody'd open the front door for me when I come back.
Is that right? Oh, the door had to be opened. I was noticing the front door, right? And it's a beautiful door, but there's no key hole.
keyhole.
There's no way of opening the door from the
Because
outside.
when that house was built, there was always someone here to open the door, a butler or a servant of some sort.
Right. So even if you're coming home, not that the Reverend Blacker would be coming home in the middle of the night after carousing around the countryside, but somebody had to
Somebody
be there.
had to be available
there
to open the door, yes.
Right.
And no letterbox.
Okay, so that's that door.
The post used to go underneath the door laterally.
Used to
and
go
then,
underneath.
and then when the house was in disrepair, the gutters were non-existent, and the rain came down, and the post was floating on the floor as the water came down. So we've no wee box there just for the post at the moment.
Right.
But then there was no post box either. People at work used to talk to me about their centrally heated houses and about their sealed doors, and I was able to tell them that our front door, you could put the post under it, and they couldn't understand that at all.
You could nearly put a parcel under it, did you?
That's right, parcel under it.
But so in other words, that's the original door.
That is the original door. And when that door was restored, when we were fixing up the house, it took 6 men to lift it. It really is so heavy. Big heavy door.
Right. Can we go over and have a wee look at it? And I mean,
Yes.
and how does it actually open now? I mean, how do you operate it now? How do you get in and out of it?
We just use the back door to go in and out. Obviously, you have to. 'Cause you
Go round
can't-
through the
you have to go
yard.
round through the yard to get in.
Well, you're not thinking of getting a wee servant? Would that not be a servant boy like to open the door for you?
Yes.
Right. So this close it a wee second, please. Rosalind, do we see now? Right. So that's it. There's absolutely no way that you can, even if you have the key, you can't. You can't
And then this is a wind-up bell.
A wind-up
bell.
Right. Hello, we were just passing by. Just thought we'd call in and say hello to you. Yeah. Thank you. This is the lock.
Now,
That is magnificent.
you see,
Look at the size of the key.
there's the key to keep in your pocket.
That's like one of those keys out of Grimm's fairy tales or
If
something
you
like that.
went out to the cinema at night, and you would know you had the key in your pocket when you're sitting in the nail.
Well, I was down, and I can't remember where it was. I was somewhere, I think down in Grouse Hall, County Cavan, and I was told the story that the church warden had a key like this for the church, and he emigrated to America. And only when he got to America did he realise
The key.
he had the key of the church in his pocket the whole time. Now, how they were going to do it, I think they had to use a different door
Right, to get in
for
now.
years because they couldn't open the main
Couldn't
door.
get in and out.
I think the key was fine.
Well, that key's been there.
That's the
from-
original Georgian.
Georgian. This is
And
very.
lock.
This is very important. This Georgian lock's original.
That, I mean, that's a very rare.
We had the door away at a.
Has somebody else come in?
No, it's probably still just winds down. Just winds up. You see.
Let's see.
And it takes a nod.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's not the ghost of Reverend Blacker or something like that? Right?
You
Yeah, the key.
No, it just
turns once?
Takes, yes, that's it. That's it.
Clunk.
That's you. That's it.
Nobody there.
Nobody
No,
there, no.
that's all right. That's fine. That's all right. So all the windows are original as well.
Colours are
Yes.
taken out and
Yeah.
cleaned down and rehung and recorded.
And the Georgians, as we know, were very fond of their windows.
Very haunted. And some of them have the original Georgian glass in them, as you can see the striations in it and the bullseyes and that sort of thing is still in.
Well, congratulations to both of you. I mean, it is a beautiful house, and you've obviously put an awful lot of work in it. It's a kind of labour of love, I would imagine, Rosalind.
Very
Yeah.
much so.
Does it go on? I mean, do you ever see it's finished?
It's
No?
like the fourth bridge. There's
Well,
always something to be done.
We do so much outside. We're trying to restore the parkland and the yard and new gates and new walls and those. Probably not so much inside at the moment, but more outside. Because I like the outside part.
No, as I was saying earlier, I think this house is very lucky to inherit you. Because it needs somebody to look after it. Otherwise, it would just go to
just
the
yes.
rest. Well, listen, you'll have made it completely, restored it completely whenever you get a coach and four and you drive up to the house and somebody like me opens the door.
That's it. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Sir.
There followed a tour of the yard and the walled garden, which Colin has pressed into service for his sheep, kept in by walls which he's laboured to restore to their former dimensions and strength, without the posse of farm labourers and servants that Reverend Blacker would have been able to call upon. I didn't notice any hens scrabbling about the yard, but over at Mount Norris, Muriel Johnson is the very woman who could supply them with entirely appropriate heritage breed day-old chicks, worth looking at alone because they are, quite simply, miracles of cute fluffiness. It's been going on for millions of years, but I am still amazed that these become these.
Let me just see. Oh, cute. It's so warm as well, isn't it? And the heat is necessary. Are you worried about keeping them out of there, Muriel, too long?
They'll have to eventually now come down to a more workable temperature.
Right.
They'll still have to be kept warm.
Yeah.
You know, but not.
How did the wee black one get in there? The wrong egg ended up in there?
The wrong egg in the wrong place.
All right. So there's other black ones to be seen elsewhere.
Yes.
So that's the Sussex, the wee golden ones. The blue.
We call blue.
Oh, look at that. They're a lovely mixture of grey and black and everything. Here they are. Well, there's wee traces of yellow in there as well, isn't there?
Well, that's whenever I show you how to sex them.
Right. How to sex them?
Yeah.
So
because obviously in there you have males and females.
Oh, I see. Right. So both hens and their cockerels and their roosters,
cockerels,
right?
Yeah.
Right.
So you have to decide what's what. Now,
how do you do that? Is it the colour and you do that?
Spot the difference, yes.
Well, obviously, this one's got a wee yellow head, and this one's got a dark black head.
The cockerel or the male has this yellow spot on his head.
Right.
The female has nothing.
I
She's
see.
perfectly red. These are black.
Oh.
No.
So I'm looking at these wee yellow heads of the black ones, and again, they're the cockerels, or roosters.
And you pick out the females in those then.
Well, this one here's a female, if I may.
That's right.
I'm getting quite fond of them. They're really cuddly, tiny things, aren't they? Muriel, before you start, this, I have to say, rather vicious looking instrument that you have here. I mean, this is the hypodermic needle, really, is that the case? Right?
Yes.
And really, all of these chicks, every single one of them, has to be injected with
vaccine before it needs to be, yes.
Really? Every single one of them?
Every single chicken has to be vaccinated.
By hand as well?
By hand. They're babies, so they have to get injections to protect them against certain diseases.
They're not showing any fear whatsoever.
No, they don't know.
They don't know what's in front of them again, you know. But right, you must have a streak of hardness in you.
That's
as well,
it,
Muriel.
to do
you
this.
Have to do this. well, I don't know if I can bear to look, but go ahead. I can see
what you do is you get the chicken by its body.
Right.
Now behind its head there.
Right.
If you want to feel, there's a flap of skin or a looseness of skin.
There's a wee loose necky skin there. Yes.
Now you want to get the vaccine into that.
Right, into that part of it.
So you get it up, squeeze it up between your finger, your thumb and your finger.
Right.
Put the needle in, not into yourself, into the chicken.
Right, and squeeze. And that's it.
There we are. Happy enough.
Well, he or she's none the worse for wear after that, really. Not apparently. This is where you feel like saying, and here's 10,000 I prepared earlier.
You wouldn't be able to see the difference, but...
I'd rather you than me, because in spite of the fact you're doing it very, very fast, I can tell there's a degree of skill involved in that. So it's either not to get it into yourself, or else stab with a wee chicken in the wrong place. Did you grow up with hens?
No, I didn't grow up with hens.
No.
My father was a minister.
Right.
So the flock was very different. My mother in those days kept a hen and brought out chickens and that sort of thing.
Yes.
To supplement the income.
Yeah.
But no, and then I went on to train as a teacher.
Right.
And it wasn't until I married that I got into this here. And
you took it, I was going to say, took it like a duck to water, or took it like a hen to an injection.
Yeah.
But you seem to relish it. You seem to.
I do like it. I do like this end of the business.
Yeah.
I went to England and did a course in it as well.
Yeah.
But it was more really hatchery management and that sort of thing.
I see.
But I would be no expert by any means, but I like them. Yeah. It's a very interesting occupation, as I say, whenever you think of an egg and think that there's produced out of an egg.
Isn't it extraordinary still, isn't it?
With brain, bones, fluff and everything else.
Yeah. And they're a bit more biddable than children in school, maybe?
Very much so. You can put them in a box, close the lid.
Hard to believe that only yesterday these fluffy lives were just eggs. It's also hard to believe that they're going to turn into these, the heritage breed hens that Muriel has on display outside the hatchery. When we come back, we'll be in Gosford Forest Park, learning a bit more about heritage and breeding. There are times when Gosford Forest Park is like a little bit of Arcadia, serene, tranquil, a picture of perfectly peaceful pastoral calm. And then there are times when it is not. If you want peace and quiet, then don't come here when the poultry fair is on. Breeders, dealers, collectors, buyers and sellers of rare fowl and poultry of all sorts descend upon Gosford twice a year from all over the country to bargain over a bantam, haggle over a gaggle, or purchase some perches of parrots and budgies. You can also buy a still-to-be-hatched generation of birds and a state-of-the-art fox-proof detached coop to put them in. Though not strictly classed as poultry, you can even buy a woolly pig or a miniature piglet, which I'm told make good pets once they shut up. Overseeing all the fun of the fair is an old friend, wildlife ranger Donald Whiteside, who's watched this event grow over the years.
Joe, there's people coming to the local hotels here last night.
And staying overnight?
Staying overnight with their hens and their trailers and goats and woolly pigs and you name it, all in the trailers and vans, sitting in the car park, staying overnight so they can get in here at 8 o'clock this morning.
Must be some noise in the morning to get in a hotel. Let me get the guests up a wee bit. Do you want a nearly alarm call?
It's the same as I live in the forest here, and I heard them coming there at 5:30, 6 o'clock this morning, queuing up, waiting for us to open the gates to it. But as you were saying there...
Where from? From all over the country, you say?
There's ones coming from Kerry, there's ones from Cork, there's ones from Galway, there's ones for all Donegal, everywhere.
And what kind of people are you talking about here? Are these people who are in it as a business, or is it a hobby for most of them? Or
it's mostly a hobby.
Mostly hobbies.
And the people that you see here, they're all arts and parts. It's people that maybe have a pair of banties or pair of threesomes of banties in the likes of cities or towns that they're going to get eggs off, that sort of thing.
Right.
There's people who have farms and specialise in rare breeds, because it's got a pretty good, a very popular pastime now, having a few wee hens about all different breeds.
If they had a broken wrist, we could help them.
You can do all those splints and bandages and all those kinds of things.
Yeah, and if we need backup, there's a few other ones around at the car.
I see. Right. So what kind of has anything happened here today that you so far?
No, not that we know of.
Are you disappointed?
Yeah, I just want to help people.
Just want to help you. Oh, that's good.
Over 50 years ago, an important adjunct to the whole poultry industry was set up here at Gosford. It was a testing station which over the years has provided vital information on different breeds of poultry, which in turn has helped that industry to thrive. One of the men responsible for those early pioneering steps was Newell Bingham. This wouldn't have been got on back in your day?
No. We were keeping this isolated from a disease standpoint. We wanted no pain.
Is that why you had it placed here?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Because it was a safe area?
Yeah, safe area. And this area here is traditional breeds.
Right.
And if a bird laid 200 eggs, you think you're doing very well.
200 eggs in a year you're talking about?
48 weeks.
Right.
And nowadays, of course, you're looking for 300 eggs. That's
right.
how things have improved.
So what were you actually doing? Were you trying to improve the breeds of the birds?
No, we were recording what the breeders were doing.
Right.
And then, of course, you got the international people coming in. Various people all telling you how good the birds were.
And were they bringing new breeds into
New breeds. Hybrids.
Right.
Yeah.
So looking back 50 years ago, you wouldn't have had anywhere near the kind of breeds you have in the country nowadays at all?
Well, you would have had what you see in a place like this. You see some of the old breeds here.
Yes.
But the present day breeds are commercial breeds are different entirely.
Away from the bustle of the poultry fair on a quieter day at Gosford, Donald was able to show me some of the differences that Newell was talking about as we strolled among the birds that wander freely about the place. And why wouldn't they? This is their home after all.
Light Sussex is the old breed, which is the white one with the black tail and the black freckles around its neck. That's the traditional old Irish hen that you used to see about all over the place and all the old farmyards.
Right.
And the other one, the brown one, which is the common egg-producing hen that we have nowadays, it's the modern one. That's the whole idea why I have this. We exhibit here the Heritage Poultry Collection. It's because we have some of the old, really, really old ones, and we have the modern ones.
This wee rooster walking through the middle here.
That's a wee Pekin bantam.
Pekin bantam.
Now you can see his feathers right down to his feet.
I see, right. He's also a bit of a domestic squabble.
It's a hot weather. It's a hot weather, Joe.
Right.
Handsome though the light Sussex undoubtedly is, it's the little brown hen that can be relied upon to average the 300 eggs per year. These hens and the other poultry that are on display at Gosford are really a legacy of that poultry testing station we talked about earlier. And you could say, to some extent, so was Donald himself.
That testing station was set up really for the good of the industry, in other words.
It was, yes, and it was run by the Department of Agriculture as well.
Your own father had a hand in that back in those days, Jim. He's a bit of a legend in the forestry service, isn't he? Because he seems to have had a hand in starting off so many different things, so many different aspects of what you do today.
That's right, yeah. Well, I look at my father in three different aspects.